Good evening, I'm your weather forecaster, Sydney Baugh. Looking at our current temperatures, we're seeing 50 degrees here in Muncie, 52 down in Indianapolis, and 55 degrees down in Terre Haute. Taking a closer look here in our region, we're seeing 51 over in Anderson, 50 in Farmland, and even down to 45 degrees down in Richmond. Over the next 12 hours, we are seeing that temperature decrease from around 47 degrees down to 39 degrees around 1 to 2 in the morning. Tonight, again, looking at that low, we're going to see a low of 39 degrees with partially cloudy skies and winds from the west at around 10 miles per hour, and even those wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Heading into tomorrow morning around 8 a.m., we see a temperature of around 40 degrees, again with those winds from the west at around 15 miles per hour. Then heading into noon, we see that temperature rise to around 48 degrees, and even rising up to 54 degrees around 5 p.m. Again, keeping those winds from the west at around 10 to 15 miles per hour all throughout the day, keeping a pretty windy day. Looking at our trick-or-treating forecast, we're seeing a temperature of around 37 degrees when you would be heading out around that time, with partly cloudy skies and a little bit of wind that will start to make that temperature feel just a little bit cooler. Looking at our drought monitor, all across Indiana, we still are in a drought almost all across Indiana, the state of Indiana. Looking closer into our region in Muncie, we are seeing a severe drought and an extreme drought here in our region, and even heading up towards the Fort Wayne area. Looking at our 5-day temperature trend, we're seeing pretty much the mid-50s all throughout this weekend before we see it rise to around 60 and 61 degrees heading into next week, which is starting to feel pretty average for our fall-like temperatures. Looking at our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, we are seeing some pretty above average temperatures across the Midwest and western part of the United States, but again, we are starting to feel those fall-like temperatures feeling pretty average. This Sunday, we are having our time change. We will fall back 1 hour on Sunday around at 2 a.m. Heading into the next 7 days, again on Friday, we have a pretty nice temperatures for our trick-or-treating. It'll be a high of 55 on Friday, then heading into Saturday, a high of 57, and then on Sunday for that time change, we see that temperature rise just a little bit to around 60 degrees. Then heading into next week, we see that temperature in the mid-60s to the low 60s to high 60s in some pretty sunny conditions, and we'll start to see that fall-like temperatures. If you want to learn more about our weather, you can reach our socials at NLI Weather.